Sarah Brodie for the Toronto Art Therapy Institute. Psychodynamic issues in theory and practice. Art therapy example number 11, the labyrinth. I've spoken about my training case before, a 15-year-old girl. In this session that I'll be speaking about, she had just turned 16. So it was in her 8th month of treatment, of coming regularly, weekly. I had been away for a vacation, and on coming back we had a session, and then she went away for a vacation and decided that she didn't want to come back to therapy when she was on her vacation. But I pushed for it for some reasons of her needing to say goodbye before she finished with the therapy. And she came back. She met with me, as I've spoken about. I had rented a room separate from my office because of the conflict of interest from her mother working at that office. And we met where I had rented, but the room, even though I had booked it, there was an error and it was not free. So this was close to this girl's neighborhood, and she suggested that we walk to the park nearby, about 2 minutes away. And we did, and in that park there's a labyrinth, and I've linked to some pictures of labyrinths just so you have a visualization of where we were. It's like kind of painted on the ground. And we just started to walk the labyrinth slowly, and I was a few steps ahead of her, and she was speaking to me like we were in our regular room, where she was filling me in, because we hadn't seen one another for a few weeks, on all the many ongoings that had happened since. In fact, I think we had missed 3 sessions, and it felt like she had 3 weeks of news to tell. Big news. When we were tracing around, you can see in those labyrinths, you're moving through this maze around and around, and we finally got into the center. It took us about 25 minutes to get into the center. So we were about halfway through the session. And then she stopped in the center, and the rest of the session unrolled where we were standing right in that circle in the middle. And there's no walls that, or any like actual physical boundaries that mark the maze. But neither of us stepped out of that circle for the rest of the time. Until the end, when she wanted to show me her sketchbook. And then she sort of bounded over all the lines to get her bag and the book and show me what she'd been drawing. So I wonder if you can look at the long list of concepts that came along with the glossary definition of Winnicott's theory, and find one that matches up with this example. I did a lot of supervision around this, and I have one in mind, and I don't know what it's like to go at this backwards. And I'm sort of fishing for a quote unquote right answer, but I'll certainly be there in the forum to share with you if that's not clear enough, if it doesn't come forth from the reading that you're doing, because it's actually a concept I really like and like to think about. Okay, so think about that central staying within that space. What was that about?